Hi, I'm John Greaves, and welcome to Real Life Q&A. This is Brad Martin, and he's the leader of Soma. Don't be peeking. You don't
I'm looking at that. I'm not looking at you.
Stick to the script.
I think I'm looking at you.
This is Brad Martin, and he was the leader of Soma. He's the leader of Soma, a missional body that's decided to follow Jesus as completely as we can. And in doing that, we want to reveal him to the world in a missions-oriented way. To that end, every week we pin Brad down, who is a real-life
Keep using that
pastor.
word, pin me down.
That's correct, because I
You
want you to
can't
feel
pin me.
trapped. You feel
You
trapped.
can't pin
He
me.
gets a question that's asked by
Let's see some
somebody.
real life. We should
And
wrestle.
this question comes from Jason, who's a new believer from a pagan background. And Jason wants to know, is it possible for science and religion to coexist? Do you have to be
Why?
dumb to be a Christian? Can you be intelligent?
I think the short answer to that one is yes, they can coexist. And numerous Christian scientists are showing that that's the case. The problem between science and religion is not that they're mutually exclusive. They're not. It's that the data is interpreted differently.
Okay.
Okay, science and religion deal with the exact same data. When we walk up on a Tyrannosaurus Rex footprint in a valley in, what is it, like Arizona or something,
Sure.
when we walk up on the sun. The data is exactly the same. Our conclusions or interpretation of the data is what is different. That's where the problem comes in. So I guess we're using the word religious. I guess I'm a religious person. I'm
I'd
a
say
Christian,
so. Yeah.
but I also love science. I just draw different conclusions than, let's say, an atheistic evolutionist would draw. We both have massive problems. That's what most aren't honest about. I mean, when you're running the circles that I run in, back behind the scenes, you get to hear the evolutionary scientists saying, "Man, we know we've got it wrong. We know we've got it wrong. We can't figure out the data with what we believe."
Right.
You know what the truth is? I'm a Christian and I can't either. Okay? I can't make all the data fit into Genesis. But then again, I don't know that I'm not commanded to do that.
Okay.
So we both are working with the same data, and the data frustrates both of us. The problem that the reader is probably referencing are the people who get the most airtime,
Okay.
who are conclusive, but not honest.
Okay.
And so they act like, you got the preacher who acts like that the Bible obviously says this is the way it is, and science is just out to lunch, and vice versa. The atheist scientist who says, Christians who think that there's a God who created the world are just stupid. Well, the truth is, both of us have equally as difficult a task, but we have the same data.
The thing that I think is true about that is that both sides have to accept that each point of view requires a certain level of faith. Because at the end of the day, science requires observation, and nobody was here when the earth was created.
Right.
So
Right.
without that, you're going to have some faith.
Yeah, it is. I think it's interesting when people parade some scientist's name, or some scientist runs along and says, "I'm just a scientist. I work with the data," which is the biggest joke on earth, because that scientist wasn't there. He doesn't know what the processes were at the time that it happened.
Right.
He's just evaluating the same data that a Christian gets to evaluate. So anybody who tells you that there's a difference in faith level between scientist and Christian is just missing some logic and some honesty. The scientist requires no more or less faith than the Christian to hold their positions. They're both faith statements. Any scientist or Christian who tells you otherwise it just isn't being honest.
Good enough. Well, I hope that answered your question, Jason. And if it didn't, then shoot me another one at jhngreaves@gmail.com. And please visit our website, onesoma.net. We'd love to hear from you and get some feedback on us.